Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. And good morning, good evening, good night, and Ayubo. Right, okay. So let's start the class. Today in this class, we are going to discuss the paper that was held in 2024, the science paper in English medium. We are going to discuss the paper which was held in 2025 March. That means that the exam was to be held in 2024, but it was delayed due to many reasons. Okay. So, question number one, to which of the following tissues does the cell type stone cell belong? This question they are asking this question from unit number one, living tissues in the grade 11. So if you have studied the grade 11 unit number to living tissues, the plant tissue animals very well, we can answer this question very easily, right? Okay. So here, this is a summary regarding the plant tissue. You know, plant tissue can be divided into two, permanent and the meristematic, and permanent tissue can be divided into simple permanent and complex permanent. Simple permanent can be divided into parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. And complex permanent tissue can be divided into two, xylem and the phloem. In the xylem tissue, they contains four types of cell, and in the phloem tissue, they contain four types of cell. And the meristematic tissue can be divided into three, apical, intercalary, and lateral. So the question they are asking that the stone cell, under which type does this stone cell belongs? You may thinking, right? Okay. Very simple, right? The permanent tissue and the meristematic tissue has been divided into two according to the ability of the cell division. The cells which have the cell division, ability to do the cell division, they comes under meristematic tissue, and the tissues which cannot do the cell division, they comes under permanent tissue. And permanent tissue can be divided into two types, simple and the complex, according to the number of cells or the types of cells which can be found in the tissue. And permanent tissue can be divided, simple permanent tissue can be divided into the parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. Parenchyma is the one who responsible the softest part, the fruit and the leaf and all. And as a collenchyma, they are responsible to the protection and the support. They also can be found in the hardest part of the plant, for example, in the stem and also in the dicot leaves, the veins of the dicot leaves. But special sclerenchyma is found in the hardest part of the plant body. You may have studied these coconut shell, the fibers, they are made up of sclerenchyma. And that sclerenchyma, there are two types of cell. What are they? Sclerids and sclerenchyma fibers. Sclerids and sclerenchyma fiber. I will explain that part later very deeply, right? So the sclerids are called as the stone cell because of the hardness. So if you have studied what is sclerenchyma, what is the basic property, and where do they found, you can answer the question very easy. Just I will explain the sclerenchyma, only sclerenchyma. I will never explain the remaining part of the tissue because with the limited amount of time, we want to discuss the questions, right? So I had decided only to explain the sclerenchyma, right? Okay. So sclerenchyma here in the background itself, you can see, right? So coconut shell, they are very hard, right? So they are made up of sclerenchyma tissue, right? Okay. So here, sclerenchyma tissue can be divided into two types. That means sclerenchyma tissue contains two types of cell, sclerids and sclerenchyma fibers. Sclerids are called as the stone cells. Okay. So here this is the difference. This is sclerenchyma fibers. They are very long and narrow, but sclerids, they don't have a defined shape, right? The irregular shape, the cell wall are irregularly thickened here. I will show you an image here. You can see the sclerids here. Wait, okay. Here, this one. Here, we can see the cell wall, the thickness of the cell wall. It is very high because it has been thickened by the lignin. So lignin is a kind of chemical compound present in the cell wall. So if the lignin is there, the cell will become dead. So in the sclerids and sclerenchyma fibers in the cell wall, they have the lignin. So because of the lignin, they become strong, they become hard. So that's why I am mentioning the name as stone cells, right? So here, fact number one, that is parenchyma tissue, the cells are dead cells. Parenchyma and the collenchyma, they are living cells. Simple permanent tissue, the tissues which comes under simple permanent tissue, parenchyma, collenchyma, they are living cells, tissues. But the sclerenchyma tissue, they are dead cells. They contain dead cells because of the lignin. Right, okay. And third one, here, the lignin is deposited in the cellulose is there. Additionally to the cellulose, they have the lignin, right? So here you can see, right? The lignin, normally here you can see, right? The lignin here, this. So because of the lignin itself, the cell wall has become thicker, right? Here you can see, right? A thick cell wall. But for the parenchyma and the collenchyma, they have a very, very thin cell wall, right? Okay. And the cells are very tightly packed. So there's no intercellular spaces here. You can see there's no any gap between the cells, right? They are very tightly packed. But for the parenchyma, they have the intercellular spaces. When you're memorizing the parenchyma, collenchyma, and all, just prepare a chart. I think the notes and the PDF will be attached in the description below, so you can download the tools and all. So in that part, I have given a chart, right? So always when you're memorizing the biology part, just prepare a chart and memorize. Then what will happen? You'll compare all those things, and it will very helpful for you, right? It will be but will be remain for a long time in your memory, right? Because Marakas, right? Okay. And here you can see at the center they have a lumen. What is lumen? Lumens need a gap. Normally, if you have a cell, it will have cellulose, it will have nucleus, it will have the cytoplasm, all organs will be there. But here, there's nothing there in this sclerites and sclerenchyma fibers because they have only lumen at the hollow part. There will be only hole at the center, and they have only the cell wall. They will have the cell wall, and they will have a gap, big gap at the center. Here you can say there's nothing here. But normally for the parenchyma, the collenchyma, they have the nucleus, cell wall, cellulose, and not cellulose, this cytoplasm, all the organs will be there. But here, there's nothing here. They have only a but single hollow structure and the cell wall is here. Okay. And here, this is central lumen. The lumen means, but the empty structure, right? Okay. So here you can see, right? There's nothing at the center, right? And the location. From the location itself, you can get an idea. Yes, sclerenchyma is the one who responsible for the hardest part. Here you can see they can be found in the coconut fibers, agave fibers, cotton wool. Here, coconut fibers. So they are made up of sclerenchyma fibers. And also in the coconut shell, right? Here, the endocarp of the coconut. This is the endocarp, right? This is the endocarp of the mango. And here, this is the endocarp of the coconut shell. So it is made up of sclerenchyma because of the hardness. So they are the one who are responsible for the hardest part, and the parenchyma is the one who is responsible for the softest part. Okay, and also this endocarp of the guava also made up of this sclerenchyma, right? Okay, and function. What's the function? Provide support. They provide support, right? Because they help to plant to be strong, right? So, what is the answer? The stone cells are belongs to meristematic? No. Meristematic are the soft part. Parenchyma, they also soft. So, you can't say that one. Collenchyma, no. They can be found in the dicot, but they are not that much of strong, right? So, the suitable answer, that is sclerenchyma, because under the sclerenchyma, sclerites are found. Sclerites are called as stone cells. Okay, so we have find the answer for question number 1. Okay, now we are moving for question number 2. That is regarding the vector quantity and the scalar quantity. This is regarding your grade 10 unit number 2. Motion in straight line. That question you may have, sorry, in that unit, you may have studied what is vector, what is scalar quantity and all. You know, what is scalar quantity? Right? Just think, right? You know, but those who don't know the answer, just pause the video and just think that is scalar quantity, right? Scalar quantity means the quantity which have only the magnitude. For example, just say you are going for the shop, right? You are going to the shop and you are asking, uncle, give me 1 kilogram of sugar. Only you will ask, uncle, give me 1 kilogram of sugar. You will never mention the direction, right? There is no need to make. If you say the direction or not, they will laugh, right? But if you want to tell, to apply a force, just I am telling, apply a force on this bus. Then you will ask in which direction that I want to push the bus. So if I want to describe the force, I need the magnitude and also the direction. So they are called as a vector quantity. The force is a vector quantity because we want to mention the direction and also the magnitude. So they comes under vector. But the mass, they comes under scalar quantity because there is no need to mention the direction with the mass. And also the temperature, time, volume, there is no need to mention the direction. Just you want to mention the volume, sorry, magnitude. So they are called as the scalar quantity. So from the unit number 2 itself, can you say the scalar quantities you may have studied, right? Distance, scalar quantity. Displacement is a vector quantity. And speed, scalar quantity. Velocity, that is scalar quantity. And acceleration, that is vector quantity or scalar quantity. That is vector quantity, acceleration, right? And unit number 2. Unit number 3, no. Unit number 4, physics. All right. From that part, force, that is a vector quantity. Force is a vector quantity. And after the force, friction. Friction also kind of force, so they also comes under vector quantity. And the momentum, mass into velocity, that is also vector quantity. Momentum. And moment, that is also vector quantity, right? Because their moment has a direction. So they also comes under vector quantity. And pressure, they comes under scalar quantity. You may ask, the pressure is equal to force or area. Force is a vector quantity, so the pressure was a vector. No. The pressure is a scalar quantity. You must be very careful in that part. I think question number 8 or 7, that is also regarding the pressure. So then when I explain the pressure, I will explain that pressure somewhat deeper. Now, just don't worry about that one. So you know the scalar quantity and the vector quantity, and the answer is here. You know what is scalar quantity, vector quantity, right now. And another important thing that I want to explain the distance and the displacement. But most of you may know what is distance, but okay, it's okay. Distance is the total length he traveled. So we want to measure the all the distance he traveled. But the displacement means the length between the starting point and the ending point in a certain direction. For the displacement, we want to mention the direction. But for the distance, there is no need to mention the direction. So distance comes under scalar, displacement comes under vector. So now the answer is here. Force, they also vector, okay. But the mass, that is scalar. So wrong answer. They are asking the vector quantity. Pressure, scalar quantity. Acceleration, vector quantity. But they are asking both of them must be a vector quantity, right? Speed, scalar quantity. A work, scalar quantity. There is no direction for the works and all, right? So that is also not the answer. Velocity, vector quantity, yes. Displacement, vector quantity, yes. So the answer is fourth one, right? Now question number 3. That is regarding to the semiconductor. This is in a grade 11 electronics. So you may haven't studied the theory still, right? Because you are following the first term syllabus now. So just leave it. I will explain that part later after studying the electronics part. Okay. Question number 4. Regarding the symbols of the elements. Those who get the wrong answer for this one, just don't study science, right? Leave the science because my kind request. Because very, very easy question, right? Here's listen. Zinc, sodium, and the silver. What are the symbols for these elements? That's the question. Zinc, you know, Zn. Sodium, you know, that is Na. Silver, that is Ag. So, you know, Pt, that is platinum. Au, that is gold. And copper, you know, Cu. Out of the first 20 elements, there are some other elements in your grade 10, unit number 16. Normally, for the first 20 elements, you need to memorize the symbols and the name. But beyond that, there are some other elements. These gold, silver, platinum, copper. In your grade 10, unit number 16, changes in matter. So in that lesson, you may have studied all these elements, right? So the answer, zinc, Zn Zn. Here, this one is the answer. Okay. Silver. Can I say Si? No, this is for silicon, right? So we can say Si, that is Ag, right? Question number 5. They are asking the scientific name of mango plant. Okay, so this is regarding grade 10, unit number 13. The world of, yes, the world of life. Yes, the diversity and all that part. Okay. So these are the contents in a grade 10, unit number 13. The classification, significance, method of classification, natural, artificial, and the domain archaea, domain bacteria, domain eukarya. Domain eukarya can be divided into 4 types. Kingdom Animalia, Kingdom Plantae, Kingdom Fungi, and the Kingdom Plantae can be divided into monocotyledon, dicotyledon. And the kingdom animal can be divided into vertebrate, invertebrate. Vertebrate can be divided into 4 types. Invertebrate can be divided into 4 types. Okay, very big lesson, right? Okay, so I can't revise all the thing. But the seventh one, that is the binomial nomenclature, the naming of the living organisms in a proper scientific method. Okay, so the binomial nomenclature is the naming process, right? Introduced by Carolus Linnaeus. So each and every name contains two parts. What are the parts? The generic name and the specific name. You may have a doubt. What is the generic name and what is the specific name, right? For example, just say for each and every, for example, the lion have the two names. That is Panthera leo. Okay, Panthera leo is the full name for the lion, but the Panthera is not only for the lion. So it comes under the all the big cat. For example, Panthera leo is for the lion. Panthera tigris is for the tiger. Panthera pardus for the leopard. So from this thing you can understand that the first epithet, this is called as the specific, the generic name. That is what is the name of that? Generic name. Generic name can be found for all the the genes that related to all these family members. That means, for example, generic name and the specific name, that are parts of the scientific naming system. So this Panthera, that is a common name for all these big cat. Big cat, lion, tiger, leopard. So they comes under one family. So all these family have same generic name, but the specific, that is second epithet may differ. Did you get the idea? First part, that is the generic name. And a second epithet, that is a specific name. That specific name will be never same for two different organisms. So lion and the tiger, they belong to two different kind of organisms. So they may have the same generic name, but they will have the second epithet. The specific name will be differ for each and every organism. So you want to be very careful that the generic name, the specific epithet. So generic name, the first part, that is the generic name. Generic name is, it will be general for all the big cat. Big cat have the same name. But the second epithet, the specific epithet, will be differ for each and every organism. And the names are given in Latin or Greek, and all the letters must be simple except the first letter. So the first letter must be capital. Here you can see each and every name, all the letter, all the names are in simple. All the names are in simple except the capital first letter. First letter must be capital. That means the first letter of the generic name must be capital, and all the other letters must be simple. And when we are writing, we want to underline the name, and when we are typing or taking the printouts, the letters must be italicized like this. Okay, so here you can see the name for the Magnifera indica, that is the name for the mango plant. The first letter must be capital and all the letters must be simple. That's all. So it have two names, generic name and a specific name. Generic name must be maybe the family, same family will have the same generic name, but the specific epithet will be but unique for each and every organism, and the name must be given as the Latin or the green, and the first letter must be capital. Okay, so we'll find the answer, right? Okay, here these are the things I already explained this one, right? Okay. So which one is the answer? First one, that is correct, but the word is not italicized, so the answer is wrong. Here is a correct answer. First letter is capital, all the other letters are simple, and it has been italicized. Here, all the letters are simple, so that is wrong. And here, all the letters are simple and also no. Even it is italicized, the first letter is not capital, right? So the answer is wrong. So most suitable answer, that is second one. Okay, and question number 6. That is regarding to the unit number 6, that organelles, cells and all, right? Okay. Which organelle of the cell transmit the hereditary characteristics, that means genetic characteristics from generation to generation? There is only one organelle, right? Who is responsible for these genetic information and all? The chromosomes and the nucleus. Okay, if you have memorized the functions and the organelles, you can easily answer this question, right? So now I'm going to explain the organelle and the function, right? Okay, a quick revision. I will never take more time. Within a quick short period of time, I want to discuss whole unit number 6. Okay. First, cell wall. What is the function of the cell wall? First, we'll study the location, right? Cell wall can be found at the outermost covering of the plant cell is made up of cell wall, and the cell wall is present in only the plant cell, not in the animal cell. And what is the function of the wall? That you will have a wall surround covered in your home or even the school. Okay, you'll have a cover, right? So what is the function of that wall? What does it do? In a season, it protects from the thief. Am I right? Or same like that. The cell wall protect the cell. That is a function. They support and protect the cell. As in your home, the cell wall protect and also maintain the shape. In the cell wall, the plant, they have a definite shape, right? Normally, the plant will have a definite shape. If I give like this, which one is plant cell and which one is animal cell, you want to identify the plant cell and animal cell from the shape because they have the definite shape. So the definite shape is supplied or given by the whom? Cell wall because they provide the support. But the animal cell don't have the cell wall, so it doesn't have a definite shape, right? So shape may be changed. So the cell wall provides support and it protects the cell, right? And second one, that is the plasma membrane or cell membrane. It can be found in animal cell. The outermost covering of the animal cell is cell membrane. What can we say about the plant cell? Does the plant cell have the cell membrane? Outermost covering of the plant cell, that is cell wall. Does the plant cell have the cell membrane? Yes, it contains the cell wall. Here, I will show you the cell here. You can see the cell membrane. Inside of the cell wall they have the cell membrane. So the plant cell has a cell membrane and also the cell wall, right? Okay. So what is the function? Close. They close cell. In the animal cell who cover? The cell membrane covers the cell, right? So they covers the cell and allow the entry of the water and the ions. They will control the entry of the water. They will be the security guard. In the school, you have the security, they will control who want to come inside the school or who want to go. So like that, cell membrane will control the entry of the water and the ions. Right? Okay. And third one, cytoplasm. You know what is cytoplasm? Cytoplasm is a liquid that present inside the cell, right? All the organelles are submerged in the cell. Like as the jelly here, inside the jelly, all the fruits are submerged. Same like that, all the organelles are submerged inside the cytoplasm, right? So they maintain the cell, they bear the cell wall தாங்கி பிடிச்சு வச்சிருக்கு. They carry the cell organelles, right? And also carry a different metabolic process. Within the cell, there are many chemical reactions. Cellular respiration is there, protein synthesis is there. So all these chemical reactions are happen inside the cytoplasm, right? And nucleus. That is the answer for this question, right? Nucleus, at the center we have the nucleus. Within the nucleus, we have the nucleolus and also the chromatin. What is chromatin? Chromatin is made up of chromosomes. Okay, I will explain what is chromatin and what is chromosomes. And what is the function of the nucleus? In the school, you have the principal. Principal will control all the activity, right? Same like that. Within the cell, we have the nucleus to control all the activities in the cell. All the cells, all the organelles are doing the function. All those functions are controlled by the nucleus. Okay, within the nucleus, already I said that chromatin is there. So chromatin means here, this is the difference between the chromatin and the chromosome. Just try to get the idea. Chromatin here, before the cell division, the chromosomes will be like a thread-like structure. That is called as chromatin. But during the cell division, chromatin will condense, they will come near and it will be converted into chromosomes. So chromatin and the chromosomes both are same, they can be found inside the nucleus. So inside the nucleus, we have the chromatin, that is chromosomes, and the nucleus. Okay. You know the chromosomes. What is the function of the chromosomes? They store the genetic information and they transfer from generation to generation. You may have studied in the meiosis part how the data or the how the information is transferred. So if I explain what is meiosis and mitosis, it will take some time. So I will never explain the mitosis and meiosis now in this class. Next video, inshallah, I will explain what is meiosis and the mitosis. But the thing that I want to tell here is the chromosomes, the chromatin are the one who are responsible to store the genetic information and transfer those genetic information. So the question they are asking in the paper, who is responsible to transfer? But if within the answer, they didn't mention the chromosome. They have mentioned nucleus. So what can you do? So the most suitable answer is their nucleus. But if the question is like this, chromosome also there and nucleus also there, then what will you select? You won't select the chromosome because chromosomes are the one who are responsible for that one. So the chromosome is present in the nucleus. So the function of the nucleus and the function of the chromosomes both are same, right? And also if you have memorized unit number 1, just revise the theory or just refer the textbook or refer the notes. Functions of the DNA. Function of the DNA also the same. Transformation or the transferring the information from generation to generation. Just refer them. Then you may think why? How? How the chromosomes and how the nucleus and how the DNA is doing the same function? Just think, if you know the answer, just comment below, right? And mitochondria. Mitochondria. They can be found both in the plant cell and the nucleus. Sorry, plant cell and the animal cell. And what is the function? That is the powerhouse. They are the one who are responsible to produce the power. So they are called as powerhouse of the cell. They are the one who are responsible to produce the power in the cells, right? And Golgi complex, here you can see the Golgi complex. And here this is the structure, right? You can see, right? The sex has been attached one above, right? Okay, so here you can see the sex. For a bagmar structure and the bagmar structure. Ondu male only stuck, right? Okay. So the membrane bounded sac are stacked on top of the other. Here you can see, right? Each and every sac has been arranged one above one of right? On top of the other. All the sacs has been arranged, right? And what is the function? That is the function of the post office, right? Say they collect the substances and they pack the substances and they secrete. So the Golgi complex is a post. We can't say post office at all. We can say powerhouse, but we can't say post office. Just for explanation, I'm telling like that, right? So they are the one who are responsible to pack and secretion. Right? They produce the part, they produce the substances, and they pack those substances and they secrete. What is the function of the post office? எடுப்பாங்க pack பண்ணுவாங்க courier பண்ணுவாங்க same like that, right? They pack and secrete. And ribosome, there are two types of ribosomes, 70S ribosome. Oh, no, no, no. That is, I think that is not mentioned in a textbook, right? Okay. Ribosome is, it is made up of two subunits, small subunit and big subunit, large subunit, sorry. And what is the function of the chromosome? Sorry, ribosome. It provides a place for the protein synthesis. That is one and only function. And keep it, remember this function, right? Because it will be linked with the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, I will explain how. Okay, you know, endoplasmic reticulum, it can be divided into two, smooth and rough endoplasmic reticulum. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum means here you can see the smooth. The surface is very, very smooth. There is no any ribosome. But here this is the RER, that is rough endoplasmic reticulum. In the rough endoplasmic reticulum, we have the ribosome. So what happens? The surface will become rough. So they are not, according to the presence of the ribosome, we are dividing the ER, endoplasmic reticulum, into two, rough endoplasmic and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Okay. Smooth means there doesn't have the ribosome. Here you can see there's no ribosome here. But the rough endoplasmic reticulum, we have the ribosome. Here you can see the ribosome. Okay. Right. Now you know there are two types of endoplasmic reticulum. That is smooth and that is rough. Okay. So what is the function of the ribosome? It provides the place for the protein synthesis. So protein synthesis occurs in the ribosome, and you know rough endoplasmic reticulum become rough because the ribosome is there. You know the sandpaper. Sandpaper become rough because of the sand. You may have seen the sandpaper, right? The sandpaper used for now so the paint அடிக்கிற நேரம் சொஹர்ல தேய்ப்பாங்க. So that is sandpaper. So sandpaper become rough because of the sand. Same like that, the endoplasmic reticulum become rough because of the ribosome. So that's why you are mentioned calling rough endoplasmic reticulum. So rough endoplasmic reticulum, the function is transportation of the protein, because you know ribosome will produce a protein and that protein will be transported through the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Did you get the idea? Rough endoplasmic reticulum, they have the ribosome in the surface. No? So they will produce the protein and that protein will be transported through the cell by the rough endoplasmic reticulum. The ribosome here, these are the ribosome, they will produce the protein. So that protein will be transported by the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Right. And second one, that is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Here, you know, they don't have the ribosome in the surface, so that's why the surface is very smooth. You know, right? In the faces and all, if you have pimples and all, what will happen? The skin will be rough, right? Because of the pimples. Same like this, if there's no any pimple, what will happen? The skin will be very smooth. So that is the simple theory. Smooth means they don't have pimples. They don't have ribosome. So that's why the surface is very, very smooth. Right, okay. So smooth endoplasmic reticulum, what's the function? Lipid synthesis and transport those lipids within the cell. So you know, rough endoplasmic, they transport the protein, which is synthesized in the ribosome. But here, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, they synthesize the lipid and they transport the lipids. Okay. Final one, the vacuole. Vacuole is the one who is responsible for it can be found in the plant cells. It can be it is absent in the animal cells. And this vacuole is covered by a membrane that is called as tonoplast. And the liquid that present inside the tonoplast, that is cell sap. Here you can see the image here. So in the plant, they have a very big vacuole, right? So in the vacuole, we have the tonoplast, the covering of the vacuole, that is tonoplast. Within the tonoplast, we have the cell sap, a liquid that is called as cell sap. And the function maintains the water balance and the storage of the pigment in the plant, especially in the plant. The colorful pigments are stored in the vacuole. So the question, this is the question. Which organ of the cell transmit the hereditary characteristics of generation to generation? That is, what's the answer? Correct answer, that is nucleus. Right. So question number 7. That is regarding the female reproductive system. Very easy question, right? You know, in the female reproductive system, there are 2 cycles, menstrual cycle and also they didn't ask the question from that part. They have asked the question on the structure of the ovary. So actually the paper is very easy, right? Not that much of hard. First 10 questions are very easy, right? So in this way, we are going to discuss only first 10 questions. In my view, the first 10 questions are very, very easy. There's no need to take any wrong in this question because not that much of hard, right? All the questions are very easy. They are asking a very basic theory, right? So from the which follicle, from the which of the following structures the ovary of the female reproductive system and ovum is released is the question. Okay, you know the location of the ovary. So this is a structure of the female reproductive system. So in the female reproductive system, we have the ovaries and the uterus and the vagina and all. And here you can see the 3D structure. So I will never explain all this part, very detailed part and all, because you want to discuss all the questions, right? Okay. So here you can see the structure of the ovary. So there are 2 ovary, pair of ovaries. They can be found in the pubic region. Pubic region means what? Pelvic area. Pelvic area means that idupu. Idupu pahadi. This is called as pelvic area, right? Idupu pahadi. Hip. Right. Okay. So the ovary can be found in the pelvic area and lateral wall. Lateral wall means that the border of the body, right? So here you can see it has been found கொஞ்சம் ஓரத்துல தான் நிக்குது, right? Not at the center. It has moved for the lateral wall, near to the lateral wall of the pubic region. அதாவது கொஞ்சம் ஓரத்துக்கு ஆகி போய் கொஞ்சம் அப்படி சைடுக்கு ஆகி போயிட்டு இருக்குது, right? Okay. And in the cross section, in the ovary, there are follicles. There are three stages of the follicle: primary follicle, Graafian follicle, and corpus luteum. So these are the 3 or 4 stages of the these follicles. Okay. So if you know the name and if you know the stages, you can answer the question very easily, right? So here we can see the primary follicles. From the primary follicle, the Graafian follicle is formed. From the Graafian follicle itself, the ovule or the ovum is released, and after that Graafian follicle is blast or burst, it will turn into corpus luteum, and corpus luteum will turn into corpus albicans. Here these are the 3-4 stages. Here from this side you can get, there's no need to memorize all the names. Okay, it's only memorize all the names. Just memorize these names, right? Primary follicles. From the primary follicle, the Graafian follicle is formed. Here from the Graafian follicle, what happened? From the, okay, sorry, sorry. There's a mistake in the image. Graafian follicle, okay, sorry, don't worry about this one, right? Okay. We'll discuss from this image. Okay, so here you can see the primary follicle here. So from the primary follicle, what happens? The Graafian follicle will be there. So matured Graafian follicle, from that Graafian follicle, what will happen? The ovum will be released. After that, after releasing of that Graafian, the ovum of the Graafian follicle will turn into corpus luteum, and the corpus luteum will turn into corpus luteum. Normally like this, right? If you have a wound, what happens? The wound will be cured after some days, right? Like that here, the Graafian follicle, the primary follicle will become big and it will turn into Graafian follicle, and Graafian follicle will burst. It will damage. So that damage, that wound will cure. That is what is corpus luteum and the corpus albicans. So which one is responsible to release the Graafian follicle, right? So that is the third answer. Corpus luteum, no. After the Graafian follicle, we will get the corpus. So we'll write the stages, right? First of all, we'll get the primary follicle. After that, the Graafian follicle. From the Graafian, my handwriting is not that much of beauty, right? Okay, so don't worry, but you know the idea, right? Okay. So Graafian follicle will release the ovum, and later it will turn to corpus albicans, and then corpus luteum. Sorry, corpus luteum, then after corpus albicans. Corpus luteum, then after corpus albicans. Okay. So we have discussed question number 7. Question number 8, regarding the pressure. Those who have got wrong are in this question. Hey, just you have studied in grade 9 plus. In your grade 9. In your grade 9, there is a question like this. Why we are sharpening the knife or something? Why? Because when the area become less, the pressure will become high. Here, when you are pressing the pencil, you will feel high amount of pain at this point, right? At the tip of the pencil. Because why? Because the pressure is high at this point. But here, the same force you will apply, low pressure will be felt. Why? Because the area is high. Same like that. When you use the heels, you will feel pain because of the low area. They will have the high pressure. But here we have the high area, so low pressure. Area கூடினால் pressure குறையும். Area குறைஞ்சா pressure என்ன செய்யும்? கூட போகுது. So same like that. Same like the tire. Normally the heavy vehicle will have the very big tire. They will have the large area because to reduce the pressure. Pressure குறைக்கிறதுக்காக வேண்டிதான் அந்த டயர் எல்லாம் என்ன செஞ்சுக்குது? பெருசாகிக்குது. If it happen, the road will damage, right? Same like that, we are decreasing the area to cut the knife. We are increasing the pressure. We are increasing the pressure by decreasing the area of the knife. We are sharpening the edge. So what happens? The area will become less. So when the area is less, what will happen? We can apply high pressure. with the low amount of force, right? And also, you may have, I think this is a video, right? No, this is not a video, but you may have seen this one, right? In the videos and all. In the ice, polar regions and all, the polar bear will crawl. But why? Why do they crawl? Because when they walk, what will happen? The area is very low, right? Here, the leg will all the weight will be applied through the legs. So what will happen? The ice layer will break. So what happens? They spread the weight through the body. So the body kula full mass powerful. So they are increasing the area. So they are reducing the pressure. So there will be no any damage in the ice cube. So they can move very smooth. Okay. So this is also one of the applications. And sometimes next year they may ask in the exam, right? Okay. Why do these polar bears crawl in the ice? Because to decrease the pressure, right? Okay. And you know the heels. So when you're walking by you, I'm not working, okay, but just I'm telling that, okay. So you will feel very pain because of why? Because they apply a high pressure because of the low area. All right, okay. So you know pressure is the equation is here. We want to divide the force by area. For example, just say we are applying 100 Newton of force in 20 meters squared. So the pressure will be 5 Pascal or 5 Newton meter minus 2. So the equations and the units. Then now we'll see we'll decrease the area, right? Same force, 100 Newton, well, we will decrease the surface area into 10 meters square. Now check the pressure. That will be 10 Newton meter minus 2 or 10 Pascal. That means when we decrease the area, earlier we had 20, now we have 10. So when we are decreasing the pressure, sorry, area, what happened to the pressure? It got increased. Here, listen. When the area was 20, the pressure was 5. But when the area was 10, the pressure got increased to 10. So what happens? When we are decreasing the area, the pressure will increase. So same theory will be applied here. We are decreasing the area of the knife. So we are increasing the pressure. That is the answer. So now read the question here. Cutting a yam with a well-sharpened knife is easier. What's the reason? Because the pressure is high. That's the reason. There's no more explanation for that one, right? So the answer is this one. Ability to okay, here second. Ability to apply a great pressure. Simple answer, right? So question number 9. Regarding the chemistry unit number 3 in a grade 10, that is valency part. Unit number 3, last or something. Yes, last part. The valency, right? Okay. So first of all, before moving to this question, we'll do some examples and we'll move the question, right? Okay. Okay. So before moving to this question, we want to understand what is valency. Okay. So we'll discuss what is valency, right? Okay. You know, each and every element have the symbol and atomic number and all. So from this atomic number and from this electronic configuration, we can find the valency. So for the hydrogen, the valency is 1. So helium, the valency is 2. For the lithium, beryllium, boron, here you can see it increases up to 4. Then after what happened, it got decreased. And the eighth group, எட்டாவது குரூப்ல இருக்கிற எல்லாருக்கும் என்னது? They will have the valency 0. Okay. And here you can see, right? Argon, they also belong to 8th group, so the valency will be 0. So we want to, guys, no need to memorize, but from when you are doing the calculations or when you are referring the periodic table again and again and again, automatically you will get the valence, right? Hydrogen 1, helium 2, again lithium 1. So first group, they will have 1. This is first group and first group and first group. So for the first group, they will have 1. And group second, so not second group, they will have 2. Yeah. Oxygen belongs to second group, right? So no, oxygen not belongs second group here. The magnesium they are belong second group, so they also have the 2, right? And for the what Calcium, they also belong second group, so they also have the valency of 2. And the phosphorus belong to group number 5, so the valency is 5. That means the valency means like how many electrons that we are going to share to become stable. That is valency. For example, just say the calcium, they have the outermost energy level, they have 2 electrons. So if they want to decide to make a bond, they will lose the 2 electron to become 8. So that is the valency. Valency means the how many electrons that they are going to lose. So if you know the idea about the covalent bond and the ionic bond and all, you will have the idea about the valence. But if you didn't get the idea of the valence, just get the periodic table and take this chart. Then compare. Then automatically you will get the idea. Hydrogen will have 1. There's no need to memorize the valence, okay? Just think that now you have the idea how to find the valency. Valency means that how many electrons that they are going to share with the other atoms to become stable. That is valency. In another we can say how many electrons or how many electrons that they are going to share to make a bond with hydrogen. So we can also describe like that. So the proper definition. So valency means, for example, oxygen, the oxygen in the atomic number, so electronic configuration will be 2, 6. So if they want to become 8, they want to get 2 electrons. And for the phosphorus, 15. 15 means 2, 8, 5. So if they want to become the outermost energy level, if the outermost energy level want to become 8, what they want to do? They can get 3 electrons, or if they get 3 electrons, the electronic configuration will be 2, 8, 8. And another option is there. Removing all the 5 electrons. Then also the outermost energy level will become 2, 8. So they have 2 options. Or to get 3 electrons. 5 plus 3, 8. Or removing all the 5 electrons and making the outermost energy level into 8. So 3 or 5. Here you can see, right? The phosphorus, they have 3 or 5. So that is the way to how to find the valency. But if you want to get this idea, the proper idea of the valency, just refer your covalent bond, ionic bond and all. They have mentioned how the atoms become stable and all. So from that one, you can get the idea of the valency. If not, you want to memorize, but I don't need to memorize, right? Just compare the chart with the periodic table, automatically we'll get the idea. Okay. Now we'll find how to find the chemical formula. Just say, for example, hydrogen and oxygen, they are going to combine together, but you don't know the chemical formula. There is a way how to find the chemical formula. Hydrogen. What is the valency of the hydrogen? That is 1. So we want to put 1 here. What is the valency of the oxygen here? Our valency is 2. And so you want to put 2 here. Then you want to put here like this, right? We want to put 2 under the hydrogen and we want to put that 1 under the oxygen. So this is a chemical formula that will be formed when the oxygen and the hydrogen is joined together. You will study. You may have studied this part in your grade 10 unit number 10 under covalent bond. So if you have the idea of the covalent bond, you can understand what is the formula, chemical formula. How did I find the chemical formula? Another example, ammonia. Ammonia is NH3. We'll check whether it is correct or wrong, right? Nitrogen, hydrogen. What is the valency of nitrogen? That is 3. What is the valency of hydrogen? That is 1. Okay. So we want to put 1 and 3 here. Then you want to move the 1 here and 3 here. So NH3. Correct. So this is the way how to find the chemical formula from the valency. And you know what is valency and all. But if you didn't get the idea what is valency, there's no need to worry. If you didn't get the idea what is valency, there's no need to worry about the valency and all. But you must know what is valency. But for this question, there's no need to know what is valency. You want to know only the valency, right? Okay. I already explained the examples, right? For water and for the ammonia. Right. Now, the question. What is the question here? In this question, they are asking. Okay. We'll move to the question, right? They are telling that there is a compound called XO. We don't know what is X. And they have mentioned they have been combined with the oxygen. Okay. And they form a chemical formula called XO. And we don't know what is X and what is O. And again, Y, the element Y is there. They make a compound with a sodium, then what is that is NaY. Okay. And there the X and Y, if the compound is there with the combination of X and Y, what will the formula? How to find the question? How to find the answer? Right, I will explain, right? Okay. We'll mark the data. We'll mark all the data here, right? Okay. So first one, that is what XO, right? Okay. XO. That means oxygen has a valency 2. Okay, oxygen also has a valency 2. And if the X also has the same valency, then only what will happen? Like this, right? X, O, oxygen has 2. The X also wants to have the valency 2. Then only what happens? Then only what happens? The formula will become XO because there's 2 in both sides. We can cancel those 2, right? That is the one rule that won't be followed in the chemical formula, right? So if you cut those 2, what will the answer? XO. So from this data, we found that the valency of the X is 2. How did I find? Because in the chemical formula, there is no number under the XO, under the O. There is nothing is there. Because why? Because those 2 has been cut off. Because the valency for the X and the O both are same. So that's why they haven't mentioned the 2. But that 2 has been removed or cancelled. Because we can cut like that, right? There's a rule like that. So now from that data, we have found that the valency of the X, that is 2. Okay. Case number 1, that is over. Okay, we'll mark the data, right? That is the valency of X is 2. Now we are going to find the valency of Y. NaY. That is a formula, right? NaY. Wait. I'm showing here. Yes, NaY. Yes. So NaY means that is also same. So the valency of sodium, that is 1. Sodium will have the valency 1 from the chart or from the periodic table. They belongs to group number 1. So they have the valency 1. Okay. And what happens? The Y also wants to have the same valency. Then only what happens? The 1 and 1 will become cancelled. NaY. So now from this formula, we found that the Y also must have 1. Already we know sodium have 1. If the Y we have any different number, what will happen? That different number will come here, right? If the valence is 2, the sodium will have that number 2. But there is no number. That means the valency of the Y, that is also 1. Okay. The Y has a valency 1. So now automatically we have find the answer. From these two data, we are going to find the formula of XY. Okay. So we want to follow the procedure. X, Y. What is the valency of the X? That is 2. What is the valency of Y? That is 1. Okay. And we want to move 1 and 2 here. So the answer will be X1, Y2. That means X, Y2. So answer is here. Sorry. I think there's a typing mistake, right? XY2. I don't will check the paper. Wait a minute. I will check the paper because I think I had a mistake in the typing, right? Yeah, the third answer is XY2. So third answer is XY2. That is the answer. So if you didn't get the idea, just revise the video, just rewind the video again, or I will explain the theory very quickly. Okay, again, once again, right? Just listen, right? They have mentioned that there is a chemical formula called XO. So we don't know the valency of the X. So we want to find the valency of. How can I find, if we want to prepare the formula, we want to put the valency first. So the valency of oxygen, that is 2. And you don't know the number that what is here. But we want to do like that is for cross multiplication. We want to move the both number in opposite direction. So X will have 2 and oxygen. We don't know the number. In that place, what will be the number? In that question mark, that there is a blank. So what will be the number there? We want to put the 2. Then only if you put 2 there, then only what will happen? that 2 and this 2 will be cancelled and we can get the formula, this one. If the formula want to be XO, this 2 must be cancelled. If the 2 want to be cancelled, the question mark must be 2. Did you get that idea? How did I find that the valence of oxygen is 2? If the valence of oxygen is 2, then only that 2 and 2 will be cancelled. We can cancel the 2 and 2. That there is a rule. If the number are same, we can cancel. So then only we can get the formula XO. So if we want to get the formula XO, the valency of the X must be 2. Option number 1. Fact number 1. Data number 1. And data number 2, that is NaY. So you know the chemical formula of Na, that is 1, and sorry, valency of the Na is, that is 1, valency of Y. We don't know the valency of Y, but when we are moving the number, what happens? The Y also has the same number 1 and Na also has the same number 1. So that means the question number, that is 1. So the valency, that is 1 for the Y. So from these two data, we have found the Y, the valence is 2, the valence of X, sorry, valency of Y, that is 1, and valence of X, that is 2. So from this data, we can found the XY, the formula of the XY. So valence is 2 and valence is 1. So we want to multiply that. The answer will be XY2. So here this is the answer. Okay. Question number 10. Regarding the digestive system in a grade 11 unit number 6. Digestive system. But that is not that much hard, right? Okay. So you know A to G. Okay, from here A to G, we want to mark the path of the food. Okay, I will show you a color image, right? Okay, so here you can see from the esophagus, the food will move to the stomach. From the stomach, it will move to the small intestine. From small intestine to large intestine. That is the pathway, right? Stomach, then small intestine and large intestine, and finally anus. So we'll come to the pathway here, right? So A to which one is D? We can't see that one. What is D, right? I think this is D, right? Okay, so A to D and D to E, that is small intestine, and D to F, sorry, E to F, that is large intestine, and from large intestine to anus, that is T. So this is the pathway. A, D, E, F, G, A, D, E, F, G, A, D, E, F, G. I will check with this answer. A, D, E, F, G, A, D, E, F, like here, D, E, F, A, D, F, A, D, and E, F. Here, third one, D, E, F. A, D, E, F, G. So D, E, F. Here, this one. Any other answers? B, C, D. No, we can't say, right? C is what? Gland, right? C is a gland, that pancreas gland. So within the pancreas gland, the food will never move, right? So the food will move through the stomach and the duodenum and the small intestine and the large intestine and the anus. So this is the pathway. Stomach A and the duodenum, that is D, and the small intestine and large intestine, finally the anus. So according to the image, stomach is A and this is D and this is E, right? We'll check. Yes, E and F. The large intestine, that is F, and this is G. So A, D, E, F, G. A, D, E, F, G. So D, E, F is the answer for that question. Okay. And last one, question number 11. Regarding to the acid and the base in your grade 11, unit number 7. Oh, I think you may haven't studied those part, but it's okay, right? That is not that much hard. So when you're watching the video, after studying that lesson, it will be very useful for you, right? So I'm going to explain that one. So they are taking a sample from A and sample from D, food sample. You know, in the stomach, it is very highly acidic solution because the stomach, you know, they produce the HCl acid, so the A will be acidified solution and here the acidity will be decreased when the food moves further deeper. So the acidity, if the acidity is high, the pH value will be low. You know, when the acidity become high, the pH will be low. And when acidity decreases, the pH will become high, right? So here you can see in the pH paper, the pH scale, when the number is low, that means it represents the acid. When the acidity decreases, what happens to the pH number? It increases. So acidity decreases means the pH value will increase. Acidity increases mean the pH value decreases, right? So from that idea, you can get the idea. You know, in the A part, the acidity is high, and in the D part, acidity is low. So A partla வந்து acidity is high. If the acidity is high, the pH value will become low, right? Okay. And D part, the acidity is low. So when the acidity is low, the pH will become high. So the answer, low and high, right? Low and high. What is the answer? Low and high. So this one, that is wrong. And here both of the 3.54, both of them represent the acid. So that will be not the answer. So most suitable answer, that is first one, 3.5 and 7.5. 3.5 means that is acidity, low pH. Here, low pH. 3.5 means low pH, that is acid. And 7.5 means that is neutral. Neutral or base, we can say base, right? Here, acid and the base, not base. That means the acidity will become decrease at the D point. Okay. So this is the answer. Okay. But if you have studied the digestive system in the proper way, and also if you have studied unit number 7 in the proper way, then only you can but answer this question in the right way, right? Okay. So that's all. So we have discussed only 10 questions. So in our next class, next video, we'll discuss remaining part of the questions. Okay, we'll meet in our next video, and Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And good evening, good morning, good night, and aibo, right? Okay.